And we are live. What's good, child? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your man, Dale, saying welcome to the Dale saying I really want to know podcast. Hope y'all are well. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, guys. We made it. It's 2023. Y'all know what it is. Yeah, I hope you guys had a good New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. I hope the first day of the year yesterday was great. Spend time with your family and your close ones, or just spend time with yourself. Whatever you did, hope you got the year started off right. I did. I was just chilling, and 2023 starts off like every year starts out for me, man, with a kick in the mouth, bro. That's how I know ain't nothing changed but the number. Ain't nothing changed but the number, man. So how y'all doing? Everything is good on this end. I hope everything is good on y'all end. Y'all know what it is, man. We're about to start talking about Brother Tate, Brother Andrew Tate, and Brother Tristan Tate and what's going on with that. Just want to do a follow-up. Everybody and their mama talking about this on YouTube. Y'all know what it is. This is big-time YouTube news. And in mainstream media, it is what it is. It's not big-time in mainstream media, but they are talking about it, which means Red Pill, Manosphere, all that stuff is getting closer and closer to the mainstream, bro. So we're gonna get into it, y'all. We're definitely gonna get into it. Just getting everything set up, ready to go. A lot of people want to see this. Everybody's already in the chat. Welcome to everybody. Welcome to all y'all. What's good? We got Miss AKA Lady in the house. It's pre-monetization party time. Yeah, we're getting real close on monetization, y'all. I put up a playlist on my channel. If you guys would be so kind as just open up the playlist when you ain't doing nothing, like just let it play on your computer. You know what I mean? It's called 100 Plus. And what it basically is all of the shows, all of the streams on my platform that have over 100 views, 100 or more views, or like really close. There's a couple on there that had like 98, 99 views, whatever. I went ahead and put them on. And it just shows some of the, more popular shows on my platform. You guys can hit that, watch that, let it run. Check that out now to get us over the hump on our view, on our the view category, and that'll get us monetized. So, man, at the rate we're going, we're at, last time I checked, it was 58 view hours needed. So I'm thinking within the next, definitely within the next week, we should be there. We'll be monetized. We'll better get the super chats and all that going, and we would have hit, a milestone. That was the first objective on my board when I started this platform. I was like, I want to get monetized. It's the first thing. And you guys have helped me do that. Shout out to y'all. We got Brother Smeebles in the house. It's the water turning. Goddamn frogs. Gay. Must be something, bro. Welcome, Brother Smeebles, all the way from the down under Australia. We got Brother Roman in the house. Yo, check your DMs. And I did. And yo, Brother Roman, thank you. And we're going to talk about that. I added that to our queue on what we're talking about today. That TikTok made some really good points, highlighted some good stuff. Definitely got some comments on that. You guys will see what I'm talking about when we run it doing this show. And he says, now that more information is coming out, I find it unprofessional and clout chasing of Romanian SWAT to show up with cameras, crews, when it looks like when they never did it before. We're definitely going to talk about that. This is high profile for Romania. I don't know much about Romania media or about their culture, really. I don't know anything about their justice system. But I do know, Tate said this, and most people have said this, that there is definitely an element of active, let's say, corruption. You know what I mean? Like, there is definitely money changing hands. You got a high profile case like this. I wouldn't be surprised if, members of law enforcement and members of their judicial system are getting that information out to people like paparazzi or whatever, or even telling your friends like, hey, get here. We're going to arrest these guys. I need y'all to get some pictures. We're going to put it up on YouTube and maybe make some money or sell this stuff to media outlets. I mean, because you look at it, the same thing happens in America when it comes to the paparazzi, right? So, and that's not just America. It happens pretty much all over the world, in developed nations especially. I mean, look at what happened to Lady Diana. I mean, she fell victim to paparazzi in her worst way, and it led to her losing her life. Her and Dodi Afad, I think his name was, Dodi Assad, something like that. So that part of it, I can see. You know what I mean? I've met some paparazzi in my day. This is back in the day before social media. And those guys, like, that's how they operate. They have people everywhere. Hey, so-and-so's here. You know what I mean? People within the law enforcement department. Hey, so-and-so's getting arrested. They're going to have them doing a perp walk at such and such time. So they know where to bring their cameras, and they know how to get that sort of stuff. But to your point, bro, you're right. You know what I mean? And we're gonna look at that video, and we're going to talk about that. We got Brother Cody's King in the house. What's good, bro? Oogly boogly, yeah. It's all Hollywood, CIA, same thing, really. Trust nothing. Far too many intelligence agency personally involved in all this, combined with narrative pushing, AI and algorithms to shape minds. Absolutely 100% agree, and that's what we're going to talk about on this particular show. We're going to, I'm going to start the show off with an article I found in The Guardian. And then we're going to go from that to, seeing what's been floating around in social media, hit a couple sites, like YouTube channels and stuff like that. And we're going to see, pretty much what Brother Cody was just talking about. We got Brother Mike in the house. What's good, fam? Happy New Year to you, Brother Jason Johnson's in the house, man. Shout out to them Lions, bro. Detroit doing their thing, man. Y'all making a run at it. What We Know podcast. Brother Rob's in the house. What's good? Happy New Year to you too, bro. Appreciate it. You know what I mean? Appreciate it. Happy New Year to everyone on here, all the Joes. Lady Novoa, how you doing, love? Hi. Hey, Dink and DL, just saying hi. Can't stay too long. I'm with the fam. I appreciate you even attempting to hang out with me when you got the fam. I really appreciate that, love. Thank you so much. You know what I mean? To a fire show. Hopefully, Happy New Year. I'm tired of this topic, so yeah, this is gonna be around for a minute. This topic ain't going nowhere. He didn't do it. He wouldn't risk it for his career. It's a great point. That was a great point. Got Sister DeSosa in the house. What's good with you? Welcome. Andrew Cherry's in the house. What's good, fam? Happy New Year. Good to see you. I'm so glad everybody's here. We about to delve right into this show, y'all. And I'm glad to see everybody's getting along. Yes, right, Brother Michael. Super chats are coming, bro. They're coming. We should be there before the end of the month. I don't know how long it takes for them to approve you or whatever you have to submit to be a part of the partner program of YouTube. I haven't been this far. I don't know. Definitely keep y'all posted. But as soon as we get those watch hours, man, they'll send me an email and then we'll go from there. So thank you, sis. I really appreciate that. And we got Andre Cherry's in the house, everything. I appreciate all of I appreciate everybody in the chat, keeping this interactive and keeping it going. I really do. This is a lot of fun, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. This is a crazy topic. We got to talk about it. So we're gonna do this show. We'll probably do 2 more shows on Andrew Tate over the next couple of weeks. I'm pretty sure we will. Definitely within the next 30 days because he's on a 30-day hold down. So we'll do a couple more shows within that period. But we're gonna get back to Downrange Podcast. We're gonna be talking about some political stuff because there's a lot going on politically. The Republicans are doing their thing, and it's crazy. It's like they got the, they got the patients running the asylum over there. So we're going to talk about what's going on with that. The Democrats have been quiet, but there's still a lot of stuff going on out there that the Democrats are messing up. We're going to talk about that. So be looking out for some political stuff on Downrange. And my buddy Ty Barnett and I are going to start a Hollywood show where we talk about all things Hollywood, movies out. We review movies, talk about who's doing what, talking about actors, directors, writers, comedians, and all that good stuff, talking about rumors and all that stuff that's going on in Hollywood. Be looking for that, y'all. We were supposed to do the first show last week, but Ty had a situation with his family. He couldn't do it. So we're going to do it hopefully within the next week or so. So be looking for the thumbnail. The thumbnail's out. Just be pay close attention to the date. We're going to be changing the date. You know what I mean? And we're going to keep this going. Yeah, go Lions. What We Know podcast, man. I'm tripping. They doing it. Denmark 2323, what it do? What's good, fam? What's good? What's up with you? Appreciate you coming through. You know what I mean? And I remember we were on somebody's podcast. I want to say it was Suzette Speaks. And I think you were saying that Andrew Tate, they're not African Americans like they are. They are. Their dad's black like us. And mom is, English. So in America, he's African American. Like, again, I don't know what he is in the UK. But he's what our ancestors would call passing. Y'all remember that term for the old heads? And passing meant you were a black person, but you look white. And a lot of people would go in America. I'm talking about America. And they would be able to move around in America and they would get, quote unquote, that white privilege, even though they were black. like their mom or their dad were black and they just like, like that real fair skin with the type hair, maybe hazel eyes or something like that. And it's a real good book. Eric Jerome Dickey, I don't know if you guys like know who he is or read any of his books, but he has a book that's called Milk in My Coffee or Cream in My Coffee, something like that. Like, look that up. Really good book, and it talks about this topic I'm talking about, passing, and what the life, how that life of those Americans, African Americans who don't look black but are, and they're moving through the world here in America. Really good book, y'all. He's the same dude that wrote Sister. I know a lot of the sisters know this, and I know a lot of the dudes out here like, what's up, Uncle Saint? Why you reading them books? It was part of my game. It still is part of my game, bro. Sisters, you need to know what they are reading, what they are watching, and what they are thinking about if you want to be able to, how can I put this? It's just a way, it's another tool on the tool belt, right? I can engage in the conversation. They're talking about black authors. I can bring up Eric Jerome Dickey and a few of his books. He's a really good author. And I can bring up some of those books. I've read them, and I would, get the defenses down. I'm all about how can I get her to lower the shield? How can I get her to lower the shield? And, it's like with science or sci-fi or literature or whatever, you got to know these things, y'all. We're going to save that for another episode. We got some episodes coming up where we're going to talk about, being a player, who's a player, what is a player. A lot of people out here calling me a player. Like, yo, Uncle Saint, you a player. Nah, I'm not. I'm just good with my game. But there are players out there, and I want to do a show that we could talk about the two. I'm looking forward to that. Brother Ian's in the house. What's good, fam? Welcome. Happy New Year to you, too. And Miss AKA Lady, if you're passing, then you're avoiding a lot of the black experiences. That's why there is pushback. Yeah, that is true. Like, and it's funny if you're passing and then some of those people who are passing, like the people who fall into this category, actually hide their heritage and actually hide family and stuff like that. So it's a pretty tough life. Not so much now, but, when you go back 20, 30, 40, 50 years or more, there was a real, like, you had to have a completely separate life. You were living a lie. It was crazy. Shoot, maybe we'll do an episode about that. Let me know. One in the chat if I should do an episode about passing black folks who look white or something like that. One in the chat if y'all want to see that, man, because that could be a very fascinating conversation. You know what I mean? But Miss AKA Lady is right. Brother Jason, how can I get her to lower the shield? How can I finesse? You don't want to say it, so I will. Hey, man, that's real talk, man. Everybody got their thing, bro, right? Everybody, it's all about wrong one. It's all about what? It's all about this. Holla, 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 holla. Everybody's game is different, but players run a completely different game. They're on a completely different level. I'm going to do that show probably within the next week or so because I really want to talk about that. The difference between players and dudes with game. We're going to get into that, but not today. Today, we're going to talk about Andrew Tate, man. Let's get right into it. We're going to talk about Andrew Tate. This last thing from Miss AKA Lady. I don't know if you want to touch on that topic on YouTube. There's so many ways to get canceled over that topic. You think so? Huh. Let me think about it. Good point. Let me think about it. I'll hit you up. We'll talk about it. We'll talk offline, and we'll I'll bounce some ideas off of you. Let me know what you think, and I'll hit you up a couple others. But yeah, I think it's a fascinating topic, but you could be right. I don't know. So let's get into Andrew Tate. Like, what's going on with the Tate brothers, y'all? What's going on with the Tate brothers? So, this is an article from The Guardian. See if I can't bring this up a little bit for y'all. So Andrew Tate arrests TikTok and Twitter under fire over false posts from fans. So this article is about what's going on with Andrew Tate and what's going on these social media sites, right? Social media firms are under fire this weekend for allowing the spread of misinformation by followers of King of Toxic Masculinity. This is what they're trying to label him as, the King of Toxic Masculinity. Wow. Andrew Tate after his arrest in connection with human trafficking investigation. So this article kind of gets into that. And the hours after his detention, TikTok and Twitter were flooded with posts falsely claiming he had been freed and conspiracy theories saying he had been set up. Observer analysts say, and yeah, that's true. We saw that when we were talking about it. Everyone who was out there when it was quote unquote breaking news for YouTube, everyone was out there trying to get the facts, and it was really difficult to get the facts. You guys saw it on this platform. We saw it on Black Man Unfiltered's platform. Suzette Speaks did a show about it. Shout out to all them Black Man Unfiltered Network, Suzette Speaks. The Real Nathan Daly did a show on it. It was really difficult to get the facts because the facts were very limited. It was only so much that people knew. It took maybe a sentence or two to put the facts out there, but you had these articles with paragraph after paragraph of all this other stuff. And that's what they're kind of getting at. In the hours after his detention, TikTok and Twitter were flooded with posts falsely claiming he had been freed and conspiracy theories saying he had been set up. Right. So Iran Ahmed, chief executive of the Center of Countering Digital Hate, said having conspiracy theories proliferating, which might put at risk the integrity of the investigation or the safety of those involved, is inconsolable. So, all right. So, I'm sorry, unconscionable. Now, here's the thing. The way social media is set up, there's no way to really fight against false narratives either way. That's just what it is. Journalism is journalism. And when this thing first broke, I would say, and I said multiple times, you know, during that hour or two, or I'm on different people's platforms or for a couple of days, I'm like, hey, here's some information, but this information has not been verified. Or, you know, here's a report. This report hasn't been confirmed. This is what people are saying. And then I would always go back to this is what's been confirmed so far. And it was X, Y, and Z. So this article was like, well, you know, Twitter and you know, Snapchat and Instagram, social media is putting out all these false narratives. Yeah, of course, because people like me aren't journalists. You know what I mean? People like me rely on journalists. Like, okay, let's see what the BBC has to say. Let's look at Al Jazeera, Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times. Like, let's see what the journalists are finding out. And the thing is, it takes time for them to get that information. So here we are, you know, over 3 days past, and people are still waiting to get this information. But it continues. Tate, 36, a British-American internet personality, best known for his misogynistic views. I guess that is what he's known for in certain sectors. In the mainstream media, I guess he is known for being misogynistic, right? Was arrested with his brother Tristan in Romania on 29 December as part of an investigation into human trafficking, rape, and organized crime. So we all know that, right? If anybody's been following this, we know what this is. This isn't, you know, this isn't new. This isn't news. This isn't breaking, right? We understand that. An investigation by the Observer in August into the former kickboxer and Big Brother contestant revealed that TikTok was aggressively promoting his content to users, including boys and young men. Members of Tate Online Academy have been instructed to post deliberately controversial clips in an effort to boost engagement and manipulate the algorithm. All right, now here we go. Yes, it's true that members of Hustlers University were encouraged to post clips about Tate, but it wasn't the way that this being, the way this article reads. It wasn't like, hey, our plan is for you to take the worst clips and post it so we can push this algorithm to do this false narrative or whatever. Nah. You know what I mean? Andrew Tate's never had, I think, an Instagram or a YouTube account and all this stuff. No, he's had Instagram, but like he was getting canceled early. Like they were remove his, pages. So what he started to do is he just had other people do it. And it's like the algorithm is never going to be able to get rid of all of them. It's like whack-a-mole. You get rid of this one and 5 more pop up over here. So yes, he wanted to get the algorithm talking about him, Tate, as promotion, but it wasn't some, evil scheme to force young boys to be misogynistic. That was not the plan. That was not the plan. So right off rip is like, I don't know about that. But you see this narrative on every platform. Every mainstream media platform has the same narrative. What we're seeing here, I'm seeing everywhere else. So After his arrest last week, a statement from the prosecutor said 4 people, including 2 Britons, were suspected of being part of a criminal group that sexually exploited women after luring, I'm sorry, y'all, my mouth doesn't work all day. They were lured them with promises of a relationship. So, and I think they were calling this the lover boy, the term they're using. It was a lover boy play. Come to Romania and be my wife. And then the women get there and they're forced into some sort of life that they don't like or whatever. So that's, this is what they're all reporting. The women were allegedly subject to physical abuse and mental coercion through intimidation, constant surveillance, control, and invoking alleged debts, and forced to make pornographic videos. 6 potential victims have been identified. So again, this is the narrative. This is pretty much what's being reported by anyone who's talking about this in mainstream media. This is why the Tate brothers were arrested along with 2 other people. Further details of the specific allegations against Tate have not been made public. On Friday, it was confirmed that he would spend the next 30 days in detention as Romania's Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism continues its inquiries, right? So once he was initially, when this happened, the night it happened, he was picked up and they were like, okay, he and his brother, all 4 of them were put on a 24-hour hold. Now I'm assuming it was all 4, but the articles were talking about Tate and his brother Tristan, but it was 4 people who were picked up on these alleged allegations of rape and human trafficking. So they were all put on a 24-hour hold for questioning. The law enforcement authorities, and I guess the prosecutor, requested from the judge that they be placed on a 30-day hold while they continue to gather information and, check things out. And the judge granted it. Now we can understand why the judge would grant it because, the Tates, they don't lie about it. They tell you they have multiple passports, legal passports from other countries, other nations that were obtained, and they kind of used it legally. It's not like they have fake passports and this, that, and the third. No, like, again, they're American, they're British, That's 2 passports right there. They're in Romania. That might be the 3rd passport. Who knows? There are places in in the world where if you buy property, they would consider you a citizen. And you'll be allowed to get a passport. So there are places like that throughout the world. So they have multiple passports. I'm pretty sure the judge's look is sitting there and it's like, well, look, if the prosecution is making an argument that these guys could be a flight risk, you can't ignore that. It's like, okay, yeah, he has multiple passports. All right. So the judge granted the 30-day hold. So it's an extension from the 24-hour hold. Now it's a 30-day hold. And we found a Romanian, there's a Romanian attorney on YouTube, and we're gonna run his content here in a second, that explains the process. I have no idea how that stuff works over there. None whatsoever. How that works, their legal system. So I won't even try to act like I do. So that's what's going on. They were held for that, and they're being held by like the top law enforcement entity because they look into this sort of thing, organized crime, terrorism, and stuff like that. Keep that in mind because we're going to talk about this as well as we start looking into possible reasons why they're going after the Tate brothers so hard and who could be possibly behind it. On social media, thousands of supporters have already reached their verdict on TikTok and Twitter. Tate fans claim without evidence that he had been framed using hashtags such as FreeTopG. Oh, that's what Brother Mike, FreeTopG, bro. They got your hashtag, cuz I saw it on here first. And Tate, Tate innocent hashtag. People lie because they hate Tate. One wrote on Twitter, I'm 100% sure Tate is innocent. Free Tate. Another said, others blame the Matrix for setting him up. This was fueled by Tate himself in a tweet posted after news of his arrest. The Matrix sent their agents. He wrote on Friday. He actually said that while they were walking him in handcuffs into the police headquarters or whatever. And he actually said that the Matrix sent their agents. So, and I guess he also was able to tweet that out. So there's a lot of stuff going on with Andrew Tate's Twitter account that could be coming from his cousin Luke, who may have access to Andrew Tate's Twitter. So a lot of stuff that you will see that's coming out on Andrew Tate's Twitter might in fact be coming from his cousin. So let's keep that in mind. Again, I can't confirm nor deny that. So this article kind of goes on to talk about, I'll read this. Since the release of the 1999 sci-fi film about people living in a simulation where a man is given a choice to take the red pill and wake up, the metaphor has been repeatedly repurposed in a range of conspiracy theories, as well by fringe online groups who use red pill to mean men waking up to reality that feminism subjugates men. All right, now here's the thing. So you see now they're talking about the RP movement. They're starting to talk about the manosphere a little bit. So right here, RP means men are waking up to the reality that feminism subjugates them. That's not RP. You know what I mean? You could argue that's a part of RP. But the whole thing about red pill is waking up and being unplugged completely, not just when it comes to dating dynamics, not when it just comes to feminism, when it comes to marriage, but finance, right? That's part of it. Politics, right? So when y'all come over to this platform, y'all know that's what I'm talking about. When I say red pill, I am unplugged and I am aware. I see the code, I see what's going on, and I accept it. So when I read this article, it was like, man, I don't know. It's just right now, it's like, oh, these guys are against feminism. Maybe some are, maybe some aren't. I don't really care. But I understand that feminism is a thing, right? And I understand how, certain, I don't know, entities work in our country, in America, with respect to feminism, men versus women. I get that. So that part right there, this is a way to kind of, sneak in, your take on it. That's not news. That's opinion. You know what I mean? So again, all mainstream media that I'm seeing, they're doing stuff like this. It's just little bitty things that they're putting in, these little seeds they're planting. So on TikTok Friday, the most recent video about Tate was one that appeared at first to be a factual report, but ended by asking viewers, what do you think is the real reason Tate was arrested? Was it the Matrix, or did Tate actually commit a serious crime? And there's a lot of, YouTube stuff. It's people like me. I don't think he did it. But if he did do it and they can prove it, bro, he's going to have to sit down. That's horrific. That's horrific. When you're talking about rape, you're talking about human trafficking, you're talking about holding people against their will and all this other kind of stuff. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. Do I think he did it? No, I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. But I know people who've committed crimes that make absolutely no sense whatsoever. Look at Logan Paul. That man's worth well north of $45 million, but he's running crypto pump and dumps. But he's part of one of the biggest energy drink franchises that's launched. They're making money hand over fist. So right there, if Logan Paul is guilty of these pump and dump schemes on the crypto zoo and dink doink, it's like, why? Why risk everything over a couple $1 million? But it looks like he did it. So, you know what I mean? So there are people out there who just do dumb stuff. And again, do I think that, the Tate brothers would do something like that? Absolutely not. But hey, we'll see. We shall see. You know what I mean? Brother Primal's in the house. What's good, fam? Good to see you. Primal Studies. You ever get shot in the field, that's the man you want with you. He could plug all the holes up for you, patch you right on up. So the article goes on Twitter, where Tate has more than 4 million followers after his account was reinstated in November. It was reinstated. Good for him. Many posts reference hashtag Pizzagate, a debunked theory that predated QAnon and claimed senior Democrats were behind a child abuse ring. I'm just trying to figure out what words I can and can't read, so I'm being real careful, y'all. But most people are familiar with that. That QAnon conspiracy that the Democrats were holding kids and using them to do bad things with grown-ups in the basement of a pizza shop in New York, and people were believing the theory. People were believing it to the point they went to the place with weapons trying to free these kids. So when Andrew Tate was taken into custody, he did a video he did on Twitter, in which someone walked in with some pizza boxes and they placed them in front of him. And the internet was saying the night he got picked up, the reason he got picked up and the Romanian authorities knew he was in Romania is because of those pizza boxes. That's been debunked. It wasn't true. It was, when I saw it, I was like, that doesn't even make sense. But, it is what it is. And that was quickly debunked by the Romanians. Like instantly debunked by the Romanians. We got Brother Tarus in the house. What's good, fam? And, it goes on to talk about the spat he had with Greta Thunberg. I mean, that had nothing to do with it. But there are a lot of people talking about, well, the timing seems a little bit off. He's going on this back and forth with Greta Thunberg, and then he gets arrested like that night. I don't think that had anything to do with it. It was just, sometimes timing is the way timing is. I don't think it had anything to do with it. So, and then it goes on and talks about what, it talks about basically Andrew Tate and what he's doing on social media and all this other kind of stuff. It talks about misinformation and all that. It's blah, blah, blah at this point. But the things I wanted to point out, though, is how the feminism thing about red pill and the feminism. I really wanted to put that in there. That, because that right there changes this entire article. You know what I mean? And it says that, fringe groups, which I guess the red pill community manosphere could be considered a fringe group, who use red pill to mean men waking up to the reality that feminism subjugates them. So that line right there, I don't agree with that whatsoever. Are there some guys out there who feel that way? Yes. Yes. Is that what the red pill teaches? No. No, it really does not. And Miss AKA lady is right. You know what I mean? Like, conspiracists can always find a connection. Yes, they can. And they always do. Cody is king. Never trust any news source claiming anything, is debunked. And that's Cody is king. So, yeah, man. So that's where we are right now, right? So what do we know? We know that Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan, along with two other people, were arrested and held initially for a 24-hour hold, which has been extended to a 30-day hold in jail. We know this. They have not been charged with anything, but they've been arrested and they're held. And the charges are, grape allegations and organized crime and ties to organized crime or something like that, which that's what they're being held on. So, and if you go back and watch the video we did on Andrew Tate a couple of days ago, we talk about, we talk about where this stemmed from. And then on Suzette Speaks, we did an excellent show on Suzette Speaks. Shout out to her, where Suzette was asking me to kind of help her out, like what's going on, and I did my best. And there is so my big thing on all this is the tie between the cam girl business and what happened back in April. So, and what happened back in April, there was a woman who was at the Tate residence. Andrew Tate and his brother lived together in this really big compound in Romania. There was a woman there who told her boyfriend that she was being held against her will. This is what most media outlets are claiming is what caused everything that we're talking about today. In other words, this woman told her boyfriend that I'm being held against my will here in Romania. This was an American citizen. She told her boyfriend who was in America. The boyfriend told the American authorities. The American authorities in turn reached out to the Romanians, and the Romanians raided the Tate brothers' home. The woman wasn't there. Andrew Tate and his brother were there, and there were a couple other people there. I think it was like, employees, like maybe maids or whatever, friends, whoever. Everyone went down to the police department. Everyone filled out paperwork, and the Tates were released. Law enforcement allegedly secured video footage, from the Tate home that allegedly showed the woman who said she was being held against her will outside the home, receiving pizza deliveries. Here we go with pizza again. Receiving pizza deliveries and returning into the home. And allegedly the video footage shows her having a good time partying with everyone else. And it seems that when they looked into the story, allegedly the woman told her boyfriend she was being held against her will. She told him that because he had information that she was at the residence, and apparently she wasn't supposed to be there, or said she wasn't going to go. And that's what started all this. Now, I haven't been able to confirm, and I'm waiting for more information to come out so we can see, is this what we're talking about? Because that case allegedly was dropped, but there are articles that says that it was a continuation, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So it was like, or what we're dealing with now still fallout from that event, or what we're dealing with here? I say we, I mean the Tate brothers. What the Tate brothers are dealing with here stems from their cam girl business, which was something that they had years and years ago. And that operation started in London. There was an issue there where Andrew Tate was taken into custody because one of his employees, one of the women involved in the cam business, was kicked out, was basically fired. She claimed that Andrew Tate beat her. The authorities in London arrested Andrew Tate, and he went and spent some $400, maybe $500 US, like, you know, 500,000 US, like this, like the equivalent of US dollars. I don't know how many pounds that would be, but he spent the equivalent of $400,000 to $500,000 clearing his name. And then he and his brother moved away from London. They wound up moving to Romania. Now, when they moved to Romania all them years ago, my question is, did they continue to run the business? That's the part I don't know. Did they continue to run the cam business? And then are the people who work with him at that point, were those are the people making claims about the criminal organization and the allegations of the assault and all that? Again, it's like 6 women who allegedly are making these claims. Andrew and Tristan at their peak had 75 women working with them on this cam business thing. So, or cam girl thing. So we're going to figure this part out. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know. We don't know. Brother Trues, he started the cam business due to the fact that he owed people a lot of money and he needed the money fast, his own words. Yes, that's exactly why he did that. Yes. And I remember the first interview I saw on that was on Fresh and Fit, but he's been on multiple platforms telling the story. Tate has never shied away from the story of how he made his first millions. It's exactly how he did it, Brother Trues. Absolutely right. And I haven't forgot about the show we need to do, man. Hopefully we do that like maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Hopefully I want to take you down there the road to my version of the red pill. And of course, we're going to wind up talking about Tate, but we'll talk about some others, man. I'll hit you up on that. Thanks for being patient with me, bro. But I got to cover this. You know how it is. Miss AKA lady, maybe he shouldn't order any more pieces. For real. Afro Shinobi was good. Welcome. I think it's the first time I've seen you. Welcome. No, this isn't the first time I've seen you. I've seen you on here before. Welcome back. Thank you so much. He was smashing her too. So there's that. Purely vindictive. Yeah. I think so. When it came to that particular, like, she was his best earner. And I don't recall if he said he was intimate. No, you know what? He did say that. He said that he was smashing, at that time, he was smashing all of the girls that were working with him. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. He did say that. If memory serves, he did say that. So, but again, he never shies away from this stuff. So, let's stop the screen. There is a Romanian lawyer who's out here. He's on Instagram, and he's also out here. Let's see. The real reason, Andrews. He's also out here trying to explain to people what will happen. This is the video I want us to check out next. This is a pretty good video. This Romanian lawyer explains what will happen to Andrew Tate. This is about a five and a half minute video. We definitely want to check this out. There's some really good information. Again, I haven't verified who this man is. I'm taking his word at face value. Again, always take it with a grain of salt. I'm taking him at his word that he's a lawyer in Romania, right? So we're just going to take this information, you know what I mean? And we're going to take it in, and we're going to take the meat and we're going to spit out the bones. But I think it was for me, it was something really good to see. You know, I mean, I watched this whole thing. It was really good. It was something for me to put in the old
think tank, Arch. Nothing gets past the old think tank. Nothing.
So we want to do that. We definitely want to do that. Brother Afro was good, bro. I'll be through here for a couple of streams. Just been working, fam. I appreciate that, bro. Yes, and I do remember you, man. Thanks for coming through, bro. You know what I mean? I really do appreciate that, man. It's for you, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. So let's watch this video. I'm gonna be stopping this along the way because this guy really brings up some good points. And some, now we're gonna get into the reasons why. Like, why are people coming at Andrew Tate, and how could this be orchestrated from behind the curtain? Right. So, let's just get into this. Let's check this out.
Spoken on the Tate explained what will happen in the next 30 days and what he believes will happen to the Tate brothers.
29, Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan, alongside two Romanian women, have been arrested in Romania, and they are facing charges related to rape, human trafficking, and the establishment of an organized criminal group. Now, the investigation on this case dates back to April 2020, when, if you remember, after the Romanian police raided their house because of a complaint that was made against them by a US citizen. Long story short, it seems like Tristan, Andrew's brother, flew over to their house in Romania, a US woman, and one of her relatives contacted the US embassy and complained about this woman being retained against her will at the Tate brothers' house. So after the police raid happened, they've been released in a few hours because they simply didn't have enough evidence against them. But that's really when this whole investigation started. Now, coming back to the present moment, 8 months.
So right off the rip, he talked about the brief story that I told you guys. He said it was an American woman who came over, and it was her relatives who made the phone call. Andrew Tate, when he was talking about this, Andrew Tate said, yes, the woman was there, and it was her boyfriend who made the phone call. But yeah, allegedly she told her boyfriend she was being held against her will, and that is what led, law enforcement to come and raid the home the first time. Now, so he's saying what's going on now stems from that event. So definitely want to, look at that. Like, so we're gonna continue.
Months later, once they arrived in Romania a few days ago, they've been tracked down by the Romanian police and they've been arrested for 24 hours. Yesterday, so one day later, on December 13th, they've been presented in front of the judge, and the prosecutor proposed, based on the evidence that he gathered, to detain the suspects for 30 days. His request was accepted by the judge, and now Andrew Tate, his brother Tristan, and one Romanian woman, because the other one has been set free, are being under arrest for 30 days. Now, I'm going to break down some of the specifics of this case so you get a better understanding of what's actually happening. Number one.
Now he has a heavy accent, so when he's saying prosecutor, when there's a word, it's like it kind of comes out a little funny. It's prosecutor, and then if the dates sound a little different, he says 13, but he means 31st. I mean, y'all know what it is. This is not his first language. Shout out to this brother, whoever he is, for putting this information out. Let's continue.
One, the prosecutor that is leading the case is actually a chief prosecutor, and he's very well known in Romania for leading some of the biggest and most famous cases against anti-mafia. For example, he's very well known for arresting the biggest drug lord in Romania, and he's also the one behind the collective tragedy, which, for those of you that don't know, it's about a nightclub that burned down, which unfortunately led to 64 deaths and over 180 people being injured. Now, he's also known for being one of the toughest prosecutors in Romania, and because of his past experience and because he received during his career a lot of death threats, he has 24/7 security assured by the special forces, which, to be honest,
So here's the thing. Andrew Tate and his brother are, they're YouTube celebrities. These guys are millionaires. Absolutely. They made their money in the cam business. They got into YouTube. Once they made their money in the cam business, they put a lot of their money into crypto. And I think that's where a huge chunk of their wealth came. I mean, could you imagine getting into Bitcoin, when Bitcoin was, $2,000 a coin or less or something like that. I think the Tate brothers got into Bitcoin way back in the day. So that's where a chunk, probably a huge chunk of their wealth came from. So there's that. So here's an allegation. They're in Romania. Someone comes, they make an allegation, the police raid the home, they have to. If someone says, hey, there's something going on, I think some people are being harmed or held against their will or whatever, you got to investigate. You got to go do what you got to do. They go in, they find out it was all false. Okay, allegedly everything was false. It's not what we thought it was. Case closed. Well, 8 months later, the Tate brothers are arrested again. Right? 8 months. Who paid for that? An 8th month investigation. Investigations cost money. Romania is not known for being a wealthy nation. It's not like they have a lot of money to throw around. In fact, money is so scarce that you can pay off law enforcement for simple things like a jaywalking ticket or a DUI or whatever. You can just kind of pay off the law enforcement person who pulled you over, give them a couple $100. He puts the money in his pocket. You go on about your business, right? Or if you need security, pay off the police department, cops. Hey, I'm gonna be out. I need some security. I'm gonna pay y'all, $500 to be our security, whatever. This is what's going on in Romania. So Romania is not known to have a kind of budget where they can just throw money around, right? To follow dead ends or whatever. So who paid for this? Right? 8-month investigation, man. Who paid for that? And another thing that strikes me funny, they have the number one prosecutor in the nation, the top guy. Why would this dude be wasting his time on a couple, YouTubers in his country? Like, why? Why would he care? When especially you bring something to him, all right, what happened? You went, okay, is he in trafficking? No. Is he on our radar? No. Is he tied in? This guy knows who all the players are. This is the top prosecutor. This guy is so good at what he does that he needs his own special forces security detail. This dude sounds like he's more protected than the president of their country. And this is the guy that's on the Tate Brothers? Why this dude? Why is this dude on the Tates? This is kind of like what I'm thinking, like, how did he get involved? Right? So we got the top prosecutor. Just writing this down on my notes, y'all. My bad. I had to stop talking for a second. We got the top prosecutor, the number one guy on the Tate Brothers. An 8-month investigation on the Tate Brothers. Who paid for this investigation? You did. Who was able to get this guy on the case? That's what's running through my mind. You know what I mean? So let's continue.
Tells me that he's going to go all in on this case and he really has nothing to lose. Now, in my opinion, being that he's very experienced, he would have never arrested them in the first place if he didn't have enough evidence to support the case. Number 2, the fact that Tate brothers have been arrested for 30 days does not mean that they are guilty. In fact, they are innocent until proven guilty. Now, you might ask yourself, if they are not guilty, then why did the judge decide to keep them under arrest for an extra 30 days? Well, I could tell you that there are 2 main reasons behind it. The first reason is that so they don't escape the country, because as you already know, they have like 10 passports and different citizenship in different countries, and that could become a problem because if they get into a country where there's no legal treaty between Romania and that country in terms of extraditing people, then obviously that could affect the investigations. Now, the second reason is that so they don't interfere with the investigations itself. Here's what I mean by that. In the next 30 days, the prosecutor is going to gather further evidence against them, and he's mainly going to do it by questioning the witnesses and all the people involved in this case. Now, if Tate brothers were free, then they could talk with the people involved in this case, including witnesses, and they could influence their statements, which would ultimately affect the course of this.
And that part right there, I ain't gonna lie. Could something like that happen? Do the Tate brothers have the kind of influence and money and connections to kind of send people to go talk to folks? You know what I mean? Hey, do you really want to talk? Hey, you talking to the police? You really want to do this? Things happen. You know what I mean? Hammers fall out the sky. In theory, could something like that happen? Yes. You can't say that it wouldn't. Do I think that the Tates would do that? No. But again, I mean, I don't know Tristan. I never met Tristan, but I have interacted with Andrew. He don't strike me as the guy to do that. But hey, bro, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it. If Michael Corleone from the Godfather movies was a real person and I met Michael Corleone, I would be very impressed with Michael Corleone. Like, oh, Mike, he seems like a good guy. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, people are getting clipped left and right with orders coming from Mike. I'm not saying the Tates or Michael Corleone. I'm not saying that the Tates are like, a kingpin or a boss or anything like that, a capo. I'm not saying that. You know what I mean? But if I were to just sitting there and the prosecutor's making this case to extend this 24-hour hold to a 30-day hold, I would do it too. I would just be like, all right, like he said, they got multiple passports. These guys are wealthy and they have influence. This judge know who the Tates are to an extent. Like, yeah, these guys, they moving money around. All right, I'll go ahead and grant the 30-day hold, which basically means not to exceed 30 days. So I would go ahead and grant that. again, I want to stay on the record here. I think the Tates are innocent, but what do I know? I'm just an old man sitting in his attic talking to a computer. Let's continue.
Investigation. So that's why this security measure of 30 under arrest was accepted by the judge. Number 3, there was never a bail option, and if they are found guilty, they can face up to 10 to 20 years in prison. Now, a lot of people expected for them to get out of bail because they have money, but that's not how the legal system works in Romania. You know, the law states very clearly that in case you are facing charges for crimes that have intention behind them, then unfortunately the bail is not an option for you. Now, all the charges that they are facing are considered to have intention behind them. And to give you an example of a crime that does not have intention behind it and where bail could be an option, will be bribery or when you kill somebody in a car accident by mistake. Now, in terms of the prison time, for both rape and human trafficking, the punishment is between 5 to 10 years. Now, for the third one, which is the establishment of an organized criminal group, if found guilty, of course, the prison time is anywhere between 1 to 5 years. Now, it's worth mentioning that during this trial, some of the charges can drop, and in the end, they can be found guilty of only one crime or none at all. Number 4, this trial can go on for 1 to 3 years, but this does not mean that they're going to stay under arrest for so long. They're most likely going to be set free in Q1 2023, and the trial is going to continue with them in freedom. It's also worth mentioning that if the girl that accused them of rape will withdraw her complaint, then the charges for rape will drop as well. Now let's discuss what...
Y'all hear that? This is why that's why I want you guys to see this. The way it works in Romania is similar, but it differs from the way it works in America. Like, because the way he's saying is like, yeah, man, we're basically going to hold them to give the prosecution and law enforcement enough time to go run down these leads, to go verify if this stuff is true or not. Right. So we need 30 days with these guys sitting down somewhere so we can go out here and see what's going on. Right. So and then it's like, OK, if they do go out and they're like, all right, these cases are valid. You know what I mean? These statements, these people are credible. We believe it. All right, cool. Let them out. And then we're going to start the process to go to trial. And like you said, it could take a couple years to do that. All right, cool. All right. So if there, I don't know, like he kept saying there won't be bail, but maybe there will be. I don't know. I don't know how that system works. Right. So, all right, cool. And then they were like, at any point during this investigation, if the people who made the claims initially back out or change, reverse their stance, recant or whatever, then the whole thing goes away. I think that's a huge element right there. The whole thing goes away if the person making the accusations back out. Instantly, over, done. Right? So it could be a year, 2 years of this, and they're like, you know what? It really didn't happen. I'm done. I don't want to deal with it. They're gone. It all goes away. And what happens then? The Tate brothers are just doing what they've been doing, right? But the damage has been done. Right now, the damage has been done. Like you look at like Brother Tarus, that's my dog. Shout out to Cleveland. They won again. You know what I mean? Yeah, I got to play the Steelers this week. That's going to be a good game. But anyway, Brother Tarus, he was like, and that's why I despise the Tates. See how easy it is to try and give them a plausible deniability excuse. That's how the con works. But it works that way in this country too, my brother. You know what I mean? And remember, innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty. We got Nightish in the house. What's good, fam? So like I said, I don't have a problem with Andrew Tate. I don't know Tristan, but you know what I mean? From all accounts and folks that I know that do know the guy, he's just like his brother. They cool people. I really don't think they're capable of doing this sort of thing, but it doesn't matter. And because I'm until you prove to me in some sort of court or some sort of forum, let me see the evidence. You know what I mean? We ponder the evidence and do it guilty or not guilty. You know what I mean? And beyond reasonable doubt or however they do it over there, I'm thinking the guy's good. He didn't do it. There's going to be people out there who just don't like Andrew Tate. They don't like what he says. They don't like what they've seen or what they know about the guy or what they think they know about the guy. And to them, like he's guilty, doesn't matter. Same thing with Donald Trump. Same thing with O.J. Simpson. Same thing with Bill Cosby. Same thing with Barack Obama. He hasn't been accused or anything, but there are people who don't like him no matter what he does. And there are people who do like him almost to a fault no matter what he does. So, I mean, that's just, I would say that's part of the human condition. That's just where we are right now. And I get that. So I ain't knocking nobody. You know what I mean? I ain't knocking nobody. That's if that's how you want to come at it, that's how you got to come at it. I ain't tripping. You know what I mean? And then Miss AKA lady saying if the girl drops her accusations and the Tate charges get dropped, man, that girl's in danger. I don't think so. I don't think she's in danger at all. To be honest with you, it's not like the Tates are going to go after her. Who's going to go after her? And at the end of the day, I don't know how many people are going to know who she is. They haven't released any names. They may protect their names. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know, man. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? Anarchy 88, or she disappears, the problem disappears. That's how it works in America. That's why they put you in protective custody. I'm pretty sure it works like that in most places. But again, we don't know if they don't know who she is, they can't go get her. You know what I mean? But that is something. We just can't disregard that. That is something. That's real talk. And again, that's why the Tate brothers are sitting down right now for 30 days. You know what I mean? That's part of it. We all understand that that's, like if an organized entity with money and power and people out there willing to do what needs to be done, like if you go up against the drug cartels or you go up against the American mafia, yes, they still exist. If you go up against the American government, they'll send somebody to come see you, really, though. Like if it's, it is what it is. I hope that's not the case in this thing. But let's continue.
Could happen next and what's my prediction on that. I actually predicted the fact that they are going to be arrested for 30 days yesterday when I was attending Roundtable podcast on Twitter Space alongside Mario. And if you want to stay on the loop when it comes to those quick updates, follow me on Instagram or Twitter, because that's where I post the quick updates. Unfortunately on YouTube, due to the platform's limitation, I can't post quick updates. Now, just to do a quick recap, we know that Tate brothers have been arrested for 24 hours on 29th December. One day later, they've been presented in front of the judge, and the judge decided to retain them for an extra 30 days. Now you should know that this decision is not final and their lawyers already appealed the decision. Now my prediction, and what's the most likely outcome, is that their appeal is going to be denied and the Tate brothers are going to stay under arrest for this 30 days period. Now in the next 30 days, the prosecutor is going to gather new evidence, and after the expiration of this period is going to present them to the judge and decide if they are going to prolong the arrest period with 30 days, which by the way, they can do that to up to 180 days, or they are going to be set free and the investigation will continue.
Now there are so many different outcomes to the story that could.
So, and that was basically the gist of it right there, y'all. Like it's
No Jumper, coolest podcast.
My bad, y'all. Let me stop the screen. I did. So, shout out to that attorney from Romania, if in fact he is an attorney. He laid out some pretty good facts, some stuff I did not know. And then I'm gonna link. When this video is over, I'm going to link in the chat some links to that. I'm going to put them in the chat or whatever so people can kind of hit on it and go back and watch it if they want. Bro, this whole thing is complicated, and it boils down to an accusation, right? If all this goes back to the events that occurred 8 months ago, like back in April or whatever. All of this stems from an accusation. A woman said she was being held against her will, and allegedly law enforcement was able to prove that it was not true. Now, I don't know how you spin it when you have video footage of the person who said they're being detained but against their will outside the house, patiently waiting on someone to deliver some pieces. You get the pieces and you walk them into the house and you back in there partying. And then there's video footage of you leaving the residence. So all this goes back to that. And then next thing you know, these guys are being arrested again, and they have the top prosecutor in the land on them. And that investigation is like 8 months in. Again, who pays for it? So this is like us people, like this is some this really makes you think. So let's get into so since this came out, right, there's been all kind of stuff pro and against the Tates, right? Here's one I want to bring up. And this one's a little bit longer. This is about 9 minutes. right? So Andrew Tate's been accused of messaging young girl, right? And this is a Romanian guy who says that Andrew Tate was trying to message or was going back and forth, or maybe one of the Tate brothers were going back and forth on some social media platform with his 16-year-old daughter. Well, she was 16 at the time. So there are more stories coming out. So you have when they first canceled Andrew Tate, and you had the story of him, like the video of him, beating a woman in lingerie, and he has a belt. And it turns out that woman came out and said, no, that was a kink thing. That's what I was into. He was doing it for me. That's something we did. I wanted it, because that was one of the big things. Like, look at him. He's beating women. And there were allegations of there were clips out there of, Tate saying things, long form video, but it was like maybe like a 3-hour video, but it's like, I don't know, a 45-second clip or a minute clip of him saying things, disparaging things about women. And so people are like, he's misogynist and he's a bad guy and he's doing all these things, right? So here's another thing that came out. This guy says that Tate was messaging my 16-year-old girl. I got my thoughts on this. You know what I mean? But we definitely gonna, we definitely gonna look into this. And Brother Cody is saying just a bunch of smear nonsense. Yes, that's what it looks like to me. But let's watch this. Let's check this video out.
Mania, which needs to be translated over, but they're putting accusations on him that are crazy and going to be debunked in this video as well. A man was claiming that Andrew Tate was sending certain things to his daughter, which we're going to explain. And later towards the end of this video, we'll look at alleged screenshots that were actually posted as well. But let's get into it. A lot of information in this case is being censored, limited, and even removed. So guys, follow me on my Instagram before we start this video, because a lot of stuff I can post there.
Please go and subscribe. Check this dude out. Like, he's putting out some pretty good information. He does his best to be biased. I would say he's more like me. He's more on the pro Tate side of the fence, but he's doing his best to be biased. He's not just going out there saying top G this and top G that. He's actually trying to, present what's out there and let people think it through on their own. So please go out and check out his site. Like and subscribe what you got going over there.
It doesn't seem to get removed on my story, but on YouTube and other platforms it will. Now, a warning, this is not a victim in the case that's currently against Andrew Tate. This is just a media article that's been put out, most likely just to ruin his reputation. Now, this article comes out, which I'll translate for you guys. Basically, this man is saying that Andrew Tate...
We have to accept his translation. I don't speak Romanian. If there's anyone in the chat who does, and it turns out that his translation is off, please, please, please let us know. Let's continue.
He tried to hook in his young daughter, who was only 16 years old, and he thought it was suspicious. Now, it said this man's daughter was approached by Andrew Tate, a controversial English fighter, tried to hook her when she was 16 years old. The girl told everything for the first time, and it seemed suspicious that a man with several million followers, of whom he had never heard of, had sent an explicit message, she emphasized. The businessman is currently detained by the Romanian police and is in the middle of a scandal of great proportions. Now, firstly, they claim this was a couple years ago and he had several million followers, yet he didn't even have several million followers a couple years ago, which is strange.
Y'all peep that. Y'all peep that, right? Right off rip. It's like, all right, man, this ain't adding up.
It says, we remind you that the scandal involving the two fighting brothers is gaining momentum after the arrest. Investigators charged Tristan and Andrew Tate of forming an organized crime group, human trafficking and rape. It said that this man's daughter now comes with unexpected testimonies, and she's told how she was approached by the controversial character on the internet. Apparently, the young woman said that she had barely created an Instagram account at the time Andrew Tate wrote to her. The latter felt that something was dubious and did not respond to the message. However, one of her friends was almost hooked by the fighter. Fortunately, the girl was not naive and refused his advances. Allegedly, the first time I became interested in these individuals was when I received a message from one of the Tate brothers. This was 3 years ago. I was 16 years old. I had just created an Instagram account, but I was already out of the country studying in Austria. So guys, they go on to say, it seemed doubtful to me that a man with several million followers whom I'd never heard of, had sent me an explicit message. Bear in mind, they're claiming many years ago, I think 3 years ago, these guys had millions of followers. It's simply not true. She goes also that the sender was located in a strange area, and I asked for my former colleagues of my school if they somehow received a similar message, and 3 of them confirmed that they had. I didn't answer the message, but one of my friends, who was 15 years old at the time and at 10th grade, answered and continued in a conversation for a while with Brother Tate. Fortunately, my friend was not naive and refused him. Now, there's been some sort.
Now, this sort of thing is, you know, to me, this is shady. You know, and it the one thing I want to point out is this really highlights the dangers of social media. Parents, you know what I mean? Uncles, aunties, you know what I mean? Grown-ups. We do need to protect children from this. We need to protect children. You need to be looking at what your kids are doing. Forget the fact that I think this is a hit piece. I think this is definitely a smear campaign, you know what I mean, aimed at the Tate brothers. But let's put that aside for a moment. There are people out here hunting your kids, hunting these young women and young boys in cyberspace. It's going on right now. You know, so let's put the smoke and mirrors aside for a second. Let's focus on that. We need to be looking out for these kids, especially at they 16, 17 years old and they think they know everything. These kids will fall for some dude they think is some guy on the, you know, out there. They have no idea who it is. Like this person thought they were talking to the Tate brothers. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. I'm thinking they weren't. Right? 15 years old, 16 years old, talking about come see me. Think about that, y'all. This is what I worry about. You know what I mean? Forget, you know, I could put everything else to the side for a moment. Again, I think this was just a smear campaign against the Tates. The timing is just way off. Right? Oh, I just now realized that it was the Tate brothers. You didn't realize this when they got canceled? You would think that would have been the time to drop that information. You know what I mean? Or 8 months ago in April when they were being rated for this sort of thing, you didn't want to drop it then? Or you going to drop it now? Nah, bro. Nah. Nah, bro. But here's the thing. Protect these young kids. It takes a village for a reason. And the villages are being decimated across the planet. So you need to protect these young kids. Not just the young girls, the young boys. It's happening on both sides. But let's continue.
Sort of Facebook messaging chat attached to this whole story where it seems his account, you can see a fighter thing, which is from Facebook, says, okay, you're not answering, so you're ugly, bye. Could imagine him saying that. They say, okay, bye, laughing faces. He says, stupid B. They say, idiot. And there's a photo attached of his face. Now, I looked up, he doesn't have this account currently, so this couldn't be confirmed. Now, if this was true, which we don't even know, the age of consent is 16 in Romania. He wouldn't even be committing a crime anyway. I just find it weird how they try to damage his reputation to suggest he was even trying to talk and even bring in 16, and they try to claim 15-year-old girls to one of the brothers as well.
And Brother Cody is right. There are thousands of Tate accounts out there. Thousands. You know what I mean? Just like go find like whoever the hottest OnlyFans girl is out there these days. There'll be hundreds of fake accounts. Nina the Pineapple. Nina the Pineapple. Go look her up. I discovered her on Fresh and Fit. I've met her in real life. She's a very sweet young lady. She's on OnlyFans. She's like a fitness guru. Like she's a personal trainer. She's gotten into real estate. Very sweet girl. She has her own line, like a clothing line, active wear and swimsuits and stuff like that. There are at least 20 sites just like Nina the Pineapple. At least 20 that I could find. It's probably more. So, you know, with Myron Gangs, there are hundreds of sites. People claiming to be Myron Gangs and it's not Myron. Same thing with Fresh, right? So Brother Cody is right. There's like thousands of accounts out there. Let's continue.
Someone spoke out on Twitter saying, tough one to say really, if they were trying to hook minors specifically. Most people don't even have their ages on FB or IG, so it can be very easy to them to accidentally message a minor. However, that is not me excusing that behavior, but it does show potential hooking methods used. Now, this drops, and not just in Romania, a lot.
Hey, yo, just a side note, y'all. Do I got to start wearing a robe when I do my shows? I'm seeing all these people, man, wearing robes. You know what I mean? That's my guy and everything, man. But next time I talk to Tate, I'm going to ask him about that. Like, bro, what's up with the robes, man? What's up with the little boy shorts, man? You know what I mean? Hopefully he won't kick me in my face. But let's continue.
lot of sources do cover this story, it gets translated elsewhere. A lot of people posted it on Twitter. So I wanted to see who is the man who put out this article about his daughter and put this to the world rather than going to the authorities and exposing it to all the media. Simple Google search for his name. Turns out this man is a Romanian journalist and a politician, which is crazy. The two main conspiracy theories out there right now are that the journalists are trying to get Andrew Tate in the media, and also the government are under pressure to do something about Tate, prove they do crack down on stuff and they're not just taking bribes. Not
All right, there it is right there, y'all. Y'all see it. Little cracks, little things going on right here. So the guy who comes out that talks about his 16-year-old daughter that was, allegedly being trapped or tricked by the Tate brothers turns out to be a Romanian journalist who's also in the political structure in Romania. Right? Again, you got guys like this putting out these stories in the media. You got the top prosecutor in the land coming after the Tate boys. 8-month investigation over something that they already said is not a thing. Who's paying for it and why? I'm just saying, it's just
not just me. A lot of sources that have tried to remain neutral on this whole situation have even said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but we're starting to get some interesting information about Tate's rearrest. Now, let's be clear. The charges are obviously related to this webcam business part of their life that they were running. The first one being an alleged R charge of a certain girl. We don't know the extent of that. That'll be brought up in the court case. Now, human trafficking is where children and young people are tricked and forced or persuaded to leave their homes and are moved or transported, then exploited and forced to work or sold. A lot of these people that Andrew Tate and Tristan were employing were making loads of money themselves, but the authorities seem to say they were forced into it.
At the time, it was a sales job where I was selling some bullshit.
Now pay attention to this right here, y'all. This is Tristan. Tristan's the one's talking on the left side of the screen. Andrew's the one on the right. I never seen this whole thing. This is the first time I've ever even seen this clip. But they're talking about how they ended up in the cam business, right? So listen to this closely, y'all.
Kind of home improvement. It was something quite unique, but I was making good money because I'm good at sales. I'm good at various things, and I'm not afraid of hard work. I was making about 1,000 to 1,500 British pounds every week, which is, if you guys at home are, look at your banks and actually admit it, more than 90% of people make. So I was doing very well, but I was working 7 days a week. So I asked Andrew if he wanted a job doing the same thing. And Andrew said, nah, because if I go to work and do that, then that's who we're going to be. I need my time and my space to work out how to do different shit. So I was.
And this shows you how tight the Tate brothers are. They've been this tight for forever, it would seem. They move together. They are a team, right? These dudes got each other's back 100%. It's been that way since they were teenagers coming up, you know what I mean, in Luton, England, which is supposed to be like one of the hardest hoods in London.
I was paying the car insurance. I was paying the rent. All the money was coming in for me at that time. Andrew's net income was £0, but he was thinking, which is very important. This is why you got to take your time to think. After your 9 to 5 at 6 o'clock, you get home. Don't switch on the TV. Think of your way out. And I gave Andrew the space to think. So he realized that he had so many beautiful girlfriends. I think he got one of them a job on a Babe Station channel.
Yeah.
And she came home one day blabbering some nonsense that Andrew was half listening to about, yeah, some of these girls make money on webcam. Now, to me and Andrew, we assumed, who pays for webcams? I mean, porn is free. Who pays for webcams? That's got to be a dying industry, because me and Andrew aren't fucking cucks and we don't go on webcam and we don't pay women for their time and attention. So we never even considered it as a viable financial option. Andrew sat down. He worked it all out. Not just how to put her on webcam, how to maximize the amount of money this one girl was making. And I came home from work one day, and what words did you say?
I said, something amazing has happened.
Something amazing has happened. And I said, yeah, what? He goes, I've made £350 today. So I was like, I've made 250. What the fuck's going on here? How did you make £350? And he shows me this number on the screen next to one of his girls' videos broadcasting. Goes, that's money that's going to come to my bank account. Now, I'd never seen money on a screen unless it was like an online casino and shit. So I was like, so what? You have to like gamble it, or does it? And it was like, no, that's real earned money on its way to my bank account. So rather than me going out slaving all day, I had a few chicks of my own. I put one on cam in my apartment. Then we had 4 girls on cam in 2 bedrooms, one after the other. I slept in the hall. I was that money hungry. And from there, we upgraded to a 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom penthouse over in Hitchin, Hertfordshire. Then we left the fucking UK because it's shit. And in Romania, you have faster internet, more girls, prettier girls. And we just grew into an empire. We were making 2.
So right there, when I saw this video, I'm like, oh, they moved to Romania. They have faster internet, cheaper internet. So they were doing this in Romania. Okay, that was my biggest question. I'm like, I don't know if they were doing this in Romania. Tristan just said that they were doing the cam girl thing in Romania. Now, here's the thing, y'all. I know you think, well, they're still doing it. Why? There's OnlyFans. It doesn't make sense to do the cam girl business, right? It's OnlyFans. If you run cam girl, man, you got to have cameras. You got to have separate computers. You got to do all this other kind of stuff. You got to run all this stuff through things or whatever. OnlyFans, this is all you need. So I don't think they're still doing it. Again, I could be wrong. I don't think they're still doing it. But Tristan just confirmed and answered the question that I had for the past few days, which was, were they doing this in Romania? And he just said right here that they were.
$2 million a year, $2.5 million a year from webcam alone.
My sister had a obligation. My sister off my cam girl. And she's like, why don't they want to blah, blah, blah. I was like, look, you want to be a lawyer. You really, truly want to be a lawyer. You want to go into debt and waste your 20s to truly be a lawyer. Congratulations. I have 19-year-old chicks who speak no English who are going to out-earn you for the rest of your human life. So it depends. If you want to be something, fine. If you just want money, and trust me, there's a whole bunch of people out there who just want money. Most people working a job are not doing that job because they love said job. They just want money. If you just want money, who doesn't? Then a cam girl's a fantastic career path. It's an absolutely fantastic career path.
I don't think, if you go talk to your Orthodox priest about running cam girl studios, you don't think he's going to have something to say about that?
No, he might have.
Now,
so right off, if you look at that again, there are tons. There are. I'm making up numbers here, but I guarantee you there are hundreds of hours of podcast footage, of content where Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate discuss the business they were in, the cam girl business. It wasn't anything illicit. It wasn't illegal. They weren't running some organized crime organization. They sat women down and said, hey, this is what we gonna do. And if you work for us, we're taking 50%, y'all keep 50%. And that's what they did, right? They ain't running from it. They ain't never ran from it. It's out there. So, yeah, there's that. Let's continue.
the main thing that's going to be brought up in this case is the extent of how these women were treated. Obviously, they were making a lot of money out of this business, maybe even more than the girls. They were providing the laptops, the equipment, even the properties for them to do it in. But I guess a lot of stuff is going to be broken down to every little detail. And everything to know about this case from a neutral perspective will be put on this channel. Takes a couple of seconds right now. Tap that subscribe button, guys, to be notified on how this plays out. Make sure you press that button. See you next one. Peace out.
Yeah, please like and subscribe over there, man. He's doing good work, man. He's putting it in. He's definitely putting it in. I'm going to reach out to him and show some tribute because I've been using, reacting to a lot of his content. And I definitely want to, to do that. Like I like to try to show tribute when I use someone else's content, even when I'm just reacting to it. So far you've been hearing from me and I've been showing other people who seem to be more pro Tate, right? So the next video I'm gonna show someone who is not pro Tate. They're not. They're not a fan of Andrew Tate, but this is a guy, Matthew Cox. This guy was like, former criminal, has done time. He has a website, a podcast where he talks about this sort of thing. Inside True Crime is the name of his page. Please go over there and like and subscribe. What he has going on. He has a take on this, right? Because the whole time I've been asking, who's paid for this 8-month investigation? Who's kept this thing, on the forefront of Romanian law enforcement? Who kept them on this, right? How did they get the top prosecutor in the land? to get on this case. You know what I mean? How did they get that? You got this Romanian writer, reporter, political person putting out information, against Tate or wherever, like kind of like slander pieces, hit pieces. Who's behind all this? Is there anybody behind all this? Or is this just the way it works over there? Right? It's a couple more things I want you guys to see. And this guy right here, he's not pro Tate at all. At all. He has a pretty good stream that he put out there, and I was checking it out. And I was like, you know what? We definitely got to talk about this. You know what I mean? And he talks about the real reason Tate was arrested, which, hey, y'all, I ain't gonna lie. I'm listening to what he has to say, and I'm like, he might be on to something. He might be on to something. You know what I mean? And I see your chats. So I'm highlighting some of these chats, man. I'm going to read them when we get to the end. I appreciate it. And like I said, thank y'all so much for rocking out with me, man, for listening to this old man talk and just, work this stuff through. Because y'all know what it is, man. It's all about the old
think tank. Arch, nothing gets past the old think tank. Nothing.
Trying to get it through the old think tank, man. So I appreciate that. But let's check out what this brother has to say about the tapes.
What happens is eventually, although Tate said that it took 6 months before the authorities would drop the charges.
And right here, he's talking about what happened in UK when he had his worker that he fired and put out the house. She claimed that he assaulted her and owed her money. She later recanted, allegedly. And even though she recanted, he still, had to spend money to clear his name. And that's what he's talking about right here.
It cost him something like, I think he said like nearly $500,000. It was nearly $500,000 in legal fees that he had to pay because he was planning on going to trial. There's an investigation. People are being interviewed. Like, legal fees are extremely expensive, I assure you. Now, you can get a public defender, but a guy like this doesn't qualify for a public defender. And the moment you get a lawyer and he sees what you're up against and how much money you have, like if you're just a regular Joe, they'd probably charge you $100,000. But they know you've got millions. They're going to charge you $500,000. So
Facts. Now, whenever Americans talk about anything that has to do with some sort of legal system, we instantly start thinking about the American legal system. We talk about you can get a public defendant and all that. We don't know what the process is in Romania. I know I don't, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't. So they're talking like in America, you can get a public defendant if you qualify. And then the point he makes about the attorney charging you more money if they know you got money, facts. The first thing they do is they have you fill out income expense reports. Well, we just need to know where you are, and we just need to know in case the other side is going to come up. Nah, they want to know how much money you have and where the money is. Oh, this dude is worth $50 million? Yeah, we're going to charge him X. Oh, this dude is only worth, $30,000 a year? We might not even take that case, or we're going to charge him Y. You feel me? But when they see how much you make, it's like if you go to a car dealer and you filling out your form for financing, and they're asking you about how much you have in savings and what other account, how much you got in crypto and how much you got in this, because they want to start telling you where to pull your money from to buy a car that's already overpriced. It is what it is, y'all. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So, but he's right about that, man. It's the business, yo. Don't hate the player, hate the game, y'all. But let's continue.
they charge him nearly $500,000. 6 months later, the charges are dropped. The whole thing drops. He ends up meeting someone from Romania, which may or may not have been this former female police officer. I don't know. He ends up talking to some law enforcement officer in Romania while he's traveling. That law enforcement officer explains how he had been arrested in England. And the law enforcement officer says, well, that would have never flied in here. That would have never flied here. Like, you can't have somebody arrested unless they can show bruises. It would have to be right away. They'd have to come to the police department. They would have to show bruises. They would have to have witnesses. Like, it's not that easy to have someone arrested.
Now, if anyone saw me on Black Man Unfiltered's podcast or saw me on Suzette Speaks podcast, or I think I might have brought this up on Real Nathan Daly's podcast. I've said this as well. This is the story that Andrew Tate tells when he talks about what happened with the cam girl business in the UK and how he got arrested in UK and why. So this is, you know, again, you've heard the exact same thing from me. You're hearing the same thing from him. Where did we get it from? We got it from Andrew Tate.
So Andrew Tate and his brother say, you know what? Let's move to England. I mean,
and shout out to Brother Marcus, my favorite Devil Dogs in the house. What's good, man? Let's continue.
Let's move to Romania. So they moved their entire organization to Romania. While in Romania, obviously they continue doing what they're doing. They invest in crypto. They continue the webcam business. They also invest in several casinos. They start making a ton of money. They're obviously at that point, he also starts, that's the same time period when he starts doing social media. He starts Hustlers University. A couple of years later, he gets banned. After he was banned, he went on several programs and says that as a result of his message, and because he won't shut up, eventually the Matrix will come after him. And, you know, they'll have him arrested or killed. Now, maybe he already knew there was an investigation going on. That's very possible. I don't know. And maybe he was already laying the groundwork, like, hey, I know they're investigating me. I'm going to lay the groundwork and say that if I'm ever arrested, it's because they're framing me. They're trying to.
I can't lie. He's got a point. Like I said, this is not a pro Andrew Tate guy. He has a point. If I was sitting across the table talking to this brother and he brought this up, I would have no pushback for him. None. That could be. That is a possibility. Indeed, it is. Right? If I'm out here doing dirt and I know they coming for me, I know it. Because how do I know it? Because I got people on the inside that I'm paying is on my payroll telling me, hey, man, we can hold this off for only so long, but they coming, bro. I know it's coming, so let me go ahead and set the stage. Let me, you know what I mean? Let me season the public. You know what I mean? That is absolutely a possibility. I don't think that's what's going on, but it's a possibility. Let's continue.
They get rid of me. I don't know. You know, then there's also they may have me killed someday. Anyway, regardless, that's the reason he went to Romania. He then started coming out on programs talking about how they were eventually going to have him arrested or come for him or have him, you know, suicided or whatever you want to call it. By the time this is released, Andrew Tate will most likely have been released from the Romanian jail, and he will probably do a video explaining what's happening or what was told to him or what he's facing. Now, he may all.
And I agree with this too. This came out a couple days ago. So this brother was saying what I was saying. We knew it was a 24-hour hold. So like he's going to get released here pretty quick. This was before he got the 30-day extension. So now he has to sit down for 30 days. It is what it is. But within 30 days, no later than 30 days, Tate's going to get arrested. Released. Tristan's going to get released. And yeah, they're going to go straight to the internet. Yeah, it's going to be millions of views. Absolutely. They're going to go out there. Why? First of all, so they can, you know, let people know they're, you know, take advantage of all the publicity, 1, 2, and get paid for it. There's going to be mass dudes. It's going to be mass people wanting to talk to them. Unless the judge issues some sort of gag order, which, again, I don't know how their system works. But if the judge orders them not to say anything, then Tate's not going to say a word. But if there's no gag order or whatever the equivalent is in Ukraine, hell yeah, you're going to come out here and get bread. Why you think you sent down in the first place? You know what I mean? So he's, again, going to be one of the most sought after dudes out there. That's part of it. So I agree with him on that.
Also have already gotten a lawyer, and the lawyers don't do a video, don't do anything. That's very possible. But, you know, someone like him with the, you know, he's definitely a narcissist, suffers from, you know, serious ego issues. He's probably going to do a video. I wouldn't be shocked if he does a video where he explains they're coming for me, it's all lies, it's all this, it's all that. If that does happen, like, I'll connect that video I'll connect that video to the end of this video. Now, here is the conspiracy.
Pay close attention, y'all. I could have started right here, but I wanted to give y'all a little bit of context with this brother because I wanted y'all to see that he's not a pro Tate guy. So that's why I started where I started. But this is what I really want you guys to hear. Listen up.
That I think will most likely come out of this. All right. Now, I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist, but if I had to come up with a conspiracy on why Andrew Tate is so disliked and why it seems like not only social media, but now law enforcement and everybody else is coming after him, when apparently he is in a country that doesn't really have the same kind of values that the US has or that the UK has, Western society has, other than possibly him just thumbing his nose at the Romanian law enforcement and government and them just saying, you know what, this guy's kind of a jerk. Let's go ahead and arrest him to let him know and everybody else know that, hey, we do have law and order in this country.
So that part right there, I don't agree with that last little bit where he says, well, let's just go ahead and arrest him so we can just show him we do have law and order and this and that. I think there's someone behind it. I don't think that the Romanians are like going to do all this just to prove a point to Tate. They can just walk up. They can just talk to him. You know what I mean? Whoever the powers to be can go up to talk to him and say, hey, man, we need you to stop this. And I'm pretty sure Tate was like, all right, I'll calm that down. I won't mention that no more. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, so I don't think it was the Romanians on their own. But let's continue.
Maybe that's the reason. But if I had to venture a guess on what the conspiracy is, I would say this is the conspiracy. Who is behind it? China. Here's why. TikTok's algorithm is essentially designed to undermine the American youth. Let me give you an example. And by the way, if you want to know where I kind of got this in a way, in some ways, I got this from a couple different videos, but one of them is a video that was put out by Valuetainment by Patrick Bet-David.
Which is exact. I saw that video he's talking about. Shout out to Patrick Bet-David, PBD podcast. Shout out to Valuetainment. Please go over there, like and subscribe. They're doing good things. Patrick Bet-David did. I talked about it on this platform. We covered it. We reacted to the video that he's talking about on this platform, right? Patrick Bet-David has the numbers. He showed how if you say anything on TikTok that's anti-China, that they completely, the Chinese Communist Party completely controls TikTok. And if you say anything detrimental to China, or if you say anything that can help American kids come away from social media or try to do better in their lives, you will be suppressed in their algorithm. They will not spread your message. They will stifle that message, right? So when I saw this, I was like, China? I'm like, man, so let's listen to the rest of his conspiracy theory here. It's a good one, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. And Brother Marcus, I didn't plan on dropping a link, but I think I will towards the end here, just like real quick for like 30 minutes to get a couple comments up here. So stand by on that. But here we go.
With Valuetainment. And if I think about it, I will link that in the description box and you can watch it. It talks about TikTok and China. Great video. He really breaks down. He does a whole 6-month evaluation of TikTok. Super interesting video. Kids that watch TikTok in China aren't shown the same things that the youth in the United States are shown. They're shown things like science experiments, other kids doing science experiments, other kids doing gymnastics, other kids winning contests, other kids studying hard, making their parents proud, kids showing admiration for their teachers, showing admiration for their parents, showing admiration for other kids that, do things like look up to the CCP, the Communist Party in China. The CCP is Chinese Communist Party. So that's the kind of thing that they are shown. They are also only allowed to watch TikTok. You can't watch it more than 45. Can't be on the app more than 45 minutes a day. And after I think it's 6 o'clock at night, you're not allowed to be on it at all.
Now he's talking about how the Chinese government regulates social media use, in particular TikTok. This is how the Chinese Communist Party regulates social media use with their youth. And they're only seeing positive videos. Look at my science experiment. Videos of probably little Chinese boys and girls being Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and helping old ladies across the street and being good communists and respecting their elders and respecting their mom and respecting their dad and going out doing great things, right? This is what they're doing in China on TikTok. On TikTok. Y'all see where he's going with this, right? What are they showing American boys and girls? What are they showing Australian and British and New Zealand and, you know what I mean, and German boys and girls and whatever. Yo, this had me thinking. Let's continue.
The app shuts down. Now, here's the thing. Kids in the United States are showing things like prank videos, videos about, dancing trends, viral videos where you're, slapping people, or slapstick videos, or being disrespectful to your parents, playing tricks on people, people falling down, doing stupid things, really useless, brain numbing, dumbing down of America type of videos, like useless, pointless videos. That's what they're shown. And kids here, man, you can watch TikTok all day. Kids here are spending up to 3 and 4 hours a day on TikTok.
3 and 4 hours a day just on TikTok. They're spending another 2 or 3 hours on Instagram, right? They're spending another hour and a half on Snapchat, right? Think about that. Kids are on social media constantly, up to 8 hours plus per day. They're only 24 hours in a day, y'all. They're spending 8 of them on social media looking at mindless, brain-numbing stuff, right? He has some great points. Let's keep watching.
Talk. The videos are designed to be disrespectful to your parents, to show lack of duty, lack of admiration for adults, and an absolute disregard for any type of duty, responsibility, and a complete disrespect for the United States. It completely is undermining the traditional American values. The algorithm is.
This is a guy who came up on the streets. This is a guy who was a criminal. He did time. You know what I mean? He paid for his crimes. You know what I mean? He's reformed, right? He's a new man. He's out here. He's bettered himself. He's out here doing what he can. You know what I mean? For his society, for his country, for his people. This dude doesn't even like Andrew Tate, but this guy can see what's going on. He can see right through the smoke and mirrors, right? So he's like China. Let's continue.
Almost designed to promote anti-American emasculation of males in the United States. Okay, so maybe that's probably a simplistic way of saying it. Maybe that's a little bit too aggressive of a way of saying it. But here's what I know. It's a concern for the U.S. government. Now, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party in Congress can't agree on pretty much anything. But they do agree on this. They agree that the app is detrimental to the U.S. population, that information is being collected, it's being stored, and it's being sent back to the CCP, and it's being analyzed, and they're collecting data on you and everything about you.
Again, he ain't lying, y'all. He is telling the truth. He's telling the truth. All this information is going back. Even the Republicans and Democrats, as dumb and as lost as they are, our elected officials on both sides of the aisle understand that this is a problem. They get it. This is what Patrick Bet-David was talking about. I talked about this when I did this show about it. TikTok is a problem. Go back and watch it. The thumbnail says the Trojan horse. It's the Trojan horse show, the stream we did about TikTok and how it's a weapon used by the CCP to destroy America from within. This is what he's talking about. I don't know this dude. I know he don't watch my content. I don't watch his content. I'm gonna start watching it now. But I didn't know this dude really.
Every aspect. It's so bad that I think it's almost a dozen states in the last year or 2 years have come up with laws stating that no employee of the government in that state is allowed to have the app on their phone. They're very concerned. Also, the FBI director has come out in front of Congress and said that it is a major concern and that he believes that there's evidence that shows that the CCP is collecting data on Americans. It's so bad that Congress just put together a bill that's supposed to be voted on the next few months. The bill is the Anti-Social CCP Act, where they're trying to ban the TikTok app completely.
Anti-Social CCP Act. I'm going to look it up. We're going to talk about that on Downrange Podcast, y'all, because I kind of want to look that up. I know that Congress was thinking about it. I know people were kicking the idea around, but I didn't know that they actually had a bill that was already put forth and on the floor, because it's going to have to get through the different chambers or whatever. But we're going to look into that. And I'm going to play just a few more minutes, and then we're going to get back to how all this ties to Andrew Tate.
The problem, how does that tie into someone like Andrew Tate? Here's what I think is going to come out. I think it's going to come out that people like Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, those ultra conservative guys stand in the way of the algorithm or the CCP and TikTok's ability to emasculate males in the United States and create a divide in the country. Because the country, honestly, is extremely divided. You have to think, I'm 53 years old. Like, I've been around a while. I've been in prison I went to prison for 13 years. The country is extremely divided right now. Extremely divided.
And he's 100% correct. You know what I mean? I'm going to leave it there for him, because I want to get into what he was talking about in particular with Andrew Tate. What message is Andrew Tate really putting out there, and who's listening to him, right? Andrew Tate is basically saying that men need to stop being weak. They need to stop being little punks, right? They need to stop being little mama's boys. They need to go out here and be men. They need to get into the gym. They need to build their bodies up. They need to get out here and work, right? They need to get out here and become socially calibrated, right? They need to get out here and become leaders of other men. This is Andrew Tate's message. And it was cool until it hit Twitch. Who's on Twitch? All of the soy boys. All of the guys who are out there, and all they do is sit in front of their video computers playing video games. They sit around, they're just consuming porn. They're going out here, everyone gets a trophy. They're not go-getters, they're losers. But Andrew Tate came in there and turned that world upside down. Now you got these dudes, these nerds, these dweebs, these whatever you want to call them, are running around talking about top G. They're running to the gym. They're doing push-ups. They're out there running, like literally running, getting their cardio up, getting their core together, right? They're trying to find work. They're trying to hustle. Yeah, a lot of them are going to Andrew Tate's Hustle University and they're paying money. Okay, I ain't mad at that. Tate's a capitalist. You know what I mean? But there are guys on there who give their success stories. Like, yeah, I went on there, I paid $50 a month. And within 3 months, I made over $200. So it's like, wow, they went in there, they paid $50 a month, and they learned how to make money, and they made enough money to cover that cost. Now, I don't know what they're learning in there. I'm not in there. You know what I mean? But if you pay somebody money, I'm going to pay you $50 a month, and I'm going to learn tools from you that's going to earn me enough money to make that $50 back and then some, I can't say it's wrong, bro. But they're out here saying you need to be men. You need to be warriors. Now Tate, Tate's not all about guys actually serving in the military. That's one of the bones I got to pick with Brother Tate. And Brother Tate, we're going to talk about this next time I see you. You know what I mean? Hold it down while you in there, bro. I wish I could send money for your books, but Romania don't do that. If you was in the States, bro, I have all kind of money on your books, but they don't do that in Romania. But when you get out, bro, we got to talk about your views on the military. But this is what I'm talking about with Andrew Tate. The guy's out here trying to tell men to stand up and be men. That is his message. He's been talking this as long as I've seen him out here talking. And I got the videos. I can show you the videos. He's been telling women to be women. He's been encouraging women to be feminine and not be masculine. Right? What is destroying America right now? this rift between men and women and what's masculine and what's feminine and all this other kind of stuff. It is destroying America. So when this guy Matthew Cox comes out here and says it's China that's behind all this, it made me think, Now, I don't know how China would do it. Is it possible? Yeah. You know, I think it's more the West that's behind this. You know what I mean? But who knows, bro? But I will say this. I don't think it's just the Romanians, right? Because the Romanians will take money from whoever's offering it to do whatever needs to be done. You know what I mean? Short of deleting this guy. I don't think they're going to delete him. I don't think anyone's going to take a shot at Andrew Tate. You know what I mean? But it's crazy. Miss AKA lady, the way he described how he convinced women that being a cam girl is better life choice than becoming a lawyer sounded predatory. It just doesn't look like the cleanest of situations. I mean, that's one take on it. I ain't gonna lie to you. But the way he was saying is like, well, what are you gonna do? Like, if you're beautiful, you got all this money, and you can just sit there on your camera. And again, I'm not pushing that women become cam girls. I'm not pushing that. I'm not pushing the guys go out there and be drug dealers. I'm not pushing that. But I can understand when people want that bread. So you're saying you got this woman who's absolutely beautiful, and she has a choice of going into debt, over $300,000 in debt to become a lawyer, $300,000 in the hole before she can go out here and even see if she's going to be successful and try to get that money back. Or she can go out here and make $10,000 a week as a cam girl. Right? Because I know strippers that make that kind of money. They make $10,000 a week, and they'd be working like 4 days a week. They make 10 grand every week. Now, you're a grown up. I tell folks, like, well, here are the options. You're a grown up. Do what you want to do. I hear what he's saying. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be mad at the young woman who chooses to chase her career as an attorney. And I'm not going to be mad at the young woman who chooses to go turn on her camera and make money, you know, doing whatever she's doing for these guys on the cam thing. You know what I mean? And then there's also OnlyFans out there. Now, here's the thing. With the cam business, I don't believe that they were able to film what she was doing. I mean, there are women who do the cam stuff on porn sites, and I've seen that. You know what I mean? I've seen advertisements for that. I should say I've never paid a cam girl. That's not my thing. You know what I mean? But like OnlyFans is out there. Like, they got that. And even if you're a cam girl, if the information is out there, like if the videos are out there, that's something you got to deal with. You know what I mean? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? You know what I mean? So I get where he was coming from, Miss AKA lady. I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying that's what women should do, but I get where he's coming from. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't say it's predatory. I don't think so. It's just a grown up decision. You got a grown up decision to make. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie to you. If all I have is my looks, I'm a beautiful young woman. I got some exotic look, and I can make $300,000 inside of 2 years or less doing the cam business. I do that for 2 years. Take that money, and now my college is paid for. Now I can go to college because I got all the money. I ain't gonna lie. I would honestly, if I had no other options, if I didn't have a family, if I didn't have people that, you know what I mean, that could help me get this before I borrow that money, I'm gonna earn that money. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna earn that money. And from what I understand on this cam stuff, like I said, it's not all XXX. A lot of times it's just you talking to these guys. You know what I mean? The same thing with these strippers. You know what I mean? In most cases, these strippers, they're not having money for sex. They're not. They're going in here, they'll, you know, give you a lap dance, they're doing whatever they're doing. Like the girl was making $10,000 a week. She wasn't having sex with anybody but her boyfriend. But she was just that bad. Like she was fine. Like she had this exotic look that dudes were willing to pay $10,000, you know what I mean, in a week's time. It wasn't even a whole week. It was like 4 days. So anyway, I mean, that's my take on that, love. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I don't know. I don't know. You know, and it looks like Brother Cody is kind of, you know, along my way of thinking on that. And he's like, I still look at it as prostitution. Hey, see, even me and Brother Cody don't even see eye to eye on that. I don't see it as prostitution. I don't, but you know, to each his own. You feel me? Like that's why we in here, right? We bounce ideas off each other. This is an open forum for us to think and share our views, our thoughts on these subjects. I hear you. I'm like, I don't see it like that. But I come from a world where you got to deal with these kind of decisions. I come from that world. Am I going to do this or am I going to do that? You know what I mean? I don't get mad at nobody for making their choice and doing whatever it is they doing. I ain't going to lie to you, bro. Just don't hurt nobody. If you can avoid hurting people, you know what I mean? And even when I was growing up, that wasn't even a thing, that don't hurt nobody, please. When dudes was out there hustling, man, they knew they was hurting people. You getting these people the product that they want. You knew it was bad for them, but gave it to them anyway. They paid for it. You provided it. That was wrong. But, you know, I was young, man. It is what it is. Brother Cody, like, even if it's fully clothed. Yeah, like I said, I don't agree with Brother Cody on that, but I don't have to. I respect his view on that. I see where he's coming from. I do. Hey, real talk. I see where he's coming from. Brother Smeeble's in the house, man. What's good, fam? Down under. From listening to this, I think they will pressure the Tates, but they know if they delete him or delete them, the Tates might have a plan of attack for revenge for their back in their back pocket. Absolutely. At this point, you can't come out. You can't delete the Tates like that. I mean, you just can't. You know what I mean? You don't want to martyr, you know, the Tate brothers, because right now it'll be a problem. If something were to happen to the Tates, like, it would be a problem, y'all, for real, for real. And that's, you know, you just can't do it. There's one last thing I wanted to bring up. Right. And this goes to the government and what's going on over there in Romania. And I got this from Brother Roman. Shout out to him for sending me this, man. I appreciate this, bro. This is a TikTok. And we're about to watch this real quick and we're going to end. Well, actually, I'll drop the link after this TikTok video. I'll drop the link in, you know what I mean, for a couple minutes, people can kind of jump on and we can talk about what y'all want to talk about, your thoughts on this for just a couple minutes. But I want y'all to check this out. Let's make it bigger. Let me turn this off so y'all can see it, because I don't know how to make this a full screen. I'm not even going to try. But let's check this out, man. This talks about Matrix fake attack exposed. And this is, you know, I'm going to make this full screen so y'all can see this. Take my face on. I guess I can leave my face on there. It's not going to change anything. So here we go. Let's check this out. Why are there so many cameras? It's just random people filming? Is it they knew he would be arrested? So right off rip, it's talking about why are there so many cameras? There's random people there as if they knew he was going to be arrested. They did know. I guarantee if paparazzi getting tipped off by American law enforcement personnel, I know what's going on in Romania. And it's probably the Romanian police officers got their friends out there, like I said at the top of the show, that's just going to be filming this. But let's continue. So right here, Tate's talking to law enforcement guy next to him. He's like, why is the door open? They're driving off with the door open. Now, in this little TikTok thing, it says he can get shot now. You can get shot through the window. Doesn't matter. They could have tagged him when he was being walked out. They got the door open so they can get the pictures. They want the picture. They want good shots, good clean shots, so they can, maybe, sell these pictures to mainstream media, but especially back in the West. That's why I think the door is open. Right. And you got people running. You got this guy right here, right? This dude right here, he's got the perfect view. The vehicle is going very, very slow. And you see the brake lights are on. They're hitting the brakes to make sure this guy gets plenty of good shots with this camera. And they're like, well, why is his face covered? Well, it's cold out there, or he's a cop. He's a cop. He's part of the Romanian, law enforcement apparatus. And he doesn't want to be seen. They need to get these pictures, though. It's money. Like, it's money, y'all. So I just wanted to show that because, you know, people talk about, well, there's the corruption element and there's this, there's that, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. They got Andrew Tate. They know this is going to be a big story. They're going to get their bread. And I think the guys in the vehicle, the way I look at it is Andrew Tate pays off people from the bottom up. So those guys that got him, he's in the van with, those are his guys. I think those are the guys that he pays. He knows it. They're like, look, this is what we're doing. I think the guys were explaining to Tate in the van, this is what we're doing. We're going to leave the door open. That's our guy right there. He's going to get a picture. Hey, you and your brother are safe. You know, we have the whole area secured. We're just trying to make a little extra money. Tate's probably like, all right, whatever, it's cool, G. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Tate works from the bottom up. Whoever is behind this is working from the top down. You know what I mean? They're working from the top down. So it's like, well, what do you mean by that? It's like, well, who can get the investigation to continue after they realize there was no case there? Someone from the top can get continue this investigation for 8 months. It's going to be 8 months plus. Someone from the top. Who can get the top prosecutor on this case? Someone from the top. Right? Who can get this case in front of the one judge who's going to be friendly to you, being the person behind the scenes? You get the one judge that you know is not going to throw this thing out right away. Someone from the top. So Tate's bottom up money ain't no match for the top down money. Right? Who can get these Romanian reporters slant political personnel to write these articles and get it into the media? From the top down. You know what I mean? So I think that Tate's going to be fine. I think that Tate and Tristan are going to get released. I believe that this is going to be drug out for maybe another 6 to 8 months. And then lo and behold, all of the accusers are just going to just go away. Like, we don't want to deal with it. We're not interested. Because a lot of them are from different countries. I don't think any of them are from Romania. I don't know for a fact if that's true or not, but I don't think, I know for a fact that at least one or more from America. And then there were a couple from Moldova. So it is what it is. Well, I think it's going to go away. I think this is going to go away. I think they're going to drag it out as long as they can. It's going to keep them in the spotlight. I think the Romanians are happy that they proven that we'll pick you up. We'll lock you up. We have law and order over here. Our political apparatus is up and running. I think all that comes into play. So they got what they needed out of the mission. And I think the Romanians, the people from the top up and from the bottom up, they're making money. They got paid. The Tates are paying off the dudes on the street in the trenches up. And then whoever's behind us is paying the people from the top down. So I think there's been plenty of money spread around. And I think people, you know what I mean? Everybody's like, all right, cool. We got our little chunk, whatever. The Tates are tough guys, right? They don't come from privilege. They came from the streets. It ain't going to hurt them to be inside. And here's the thing. I guarantee you they got top VIP treatment inside of that, in them facilities. I guarantee it. They're not anywhere near any real criminals. Guarantee they probably got 3 or 4 cells to themselves. Doors open, walking around, probably ordering pizza. You know what I mean? They probably doing all that inside the prison. I guarantee it. You know what I mean? Just like they had Pablo Escobar and he had his own prison that he built. Just like they had El Chapo. They had him locked up down in Mexico. Y'all see how that went. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that the Tates are like, yeah, man, here go the money. Take care of us. You know what I mean? And even if it is kind of tough, the Tates are there together. It's Andrew and Tristan. They can take care of themselves. You know what I mean? These dudes, they know how to take care of themselves. So it's not like they got locked up over here in America and they got to deal with American politics when it comes to prison system and all that. They ain't dealing with that. You know what I mean? So I think they're going to be fine. I really do. I mean, I ain't tripping, but I just thought it was real funny how that went down. The way they did the perp walk, got all these people with masks standing around taking pictures of stuff, and all that money, you know what I mean, has been spread around. I think they're fine. I think they're fine. You know what I mean? These boys are tough. You know what I mean? And think about it. 2 years from now, 5 years from now, they'll be able to write a book. You know what I mean? How we changed masculinity forever or whatever. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of catching up on I want to show everybody's chat. Thanks for rocking out with me, y'all. Let's see. We've been on 2 hours, and most people have already left. I mean, I'm pretty sure people had to go home. They had to cook dinner, take care of their loved ones, take care of their kiddos, and all that good stuff. So you know what? I'll do it. I'll drop the link. Let me drop the link right now. I'll just drop it. We can jump on here for a hot second, y'all. A hot second. Anybody who want to jump up, and I mean a hot second, you can come up here and just give me your overall take, kind of like a final thoughts kind of segment. There's the link. If anybody want to jump up, I'll sit back for a second and see if anybody pops in. And y'all can just kind of come up and give like your final thoughts on the Tate Brothers for now. What do y'all think up until this point? Because this is a 2-hour stream. And I'm not trying to be like Rolo and do a 5-hour stream on this, man. I can't. I ain't got that kind of time, bro. And I'm retired. I'm like, I don't know. If that's what I got to do to get big in YouTube, I ain't never going to be big, man. It'll just be us. I could do 2 hours, maybe 3, but 5, nah, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's where we are with this, bro. I highlighted a couple of chats from earlier. Miss AKA Lady. Let's see. Let me go back up here. She's like, wait, so he was in a criminal situation, started a cam business to pay back the bad guys. He smashed all the cam girls he hired, and there was absolutely nothing illegal going on. All right, so no, what he did was he borrowed money from guys who were from the criminal world. He borrowed money, and he was like, it was time for him to pay the money back. Remember, he was a kickboxer. He got his money in chunks. So he borrowed money. He didn't have any fights coming up in time to get this money paid back. It's not like you're dealing with a bank where you can come in there and be like, oh, let me get a little bit of an extension. Nah, these are the kind of people that are going to break your toes, break your knees, whatever, or make you do something for them. You know what I mean? To get your quote unquote extension or whatever. So he tried to figure out, how can I make this money so we could pay these people back? You know what I mean? He said he smashed the cam girls, right? The cam girls initially, his first few groups, you know what I mean? The very first group of cam girls were women he were already smashing. They were in relationship. They were his girlfriends. Remember, I always talk about the top tier dudes, right? And I'm always talking about top tier doesn't just mean that you got money and you're fit and all this, you're tall, Andrew Tate was all that stuff, but he was broke. You know what I mean? He wasn't destitute, but he was broke. He didn't have like big money like that, but he was good with women. And he had a lot of women. He was like, that was his, I'm gonna send, matter of fact, Miss AKA Lady, I'm gonna send you the episode from Fresh and Fit when he really broke this down. He was like, he really didn't have any wealth. He had women. I was like, his biggest asset was he had access to beautiful women. So he brought all his women to London. He flew them all in, and he said, this is the plan I have. This is how we're gonna make this money, and we're gonna do this all together. And they were like, well, I'm your girlfriend. He was like, nah, y'all all my girlfriends. So the women he was smashing before the cam business. He brought them in. And then after the business took off, he wasn't just smashing just anybody. After the business took off, you know what I mean? He wouldn't be smashing them all or whatever. But the first group of women he was smashing them. So, and he was like, so there's absolutely nothing illegal going on. Nah, it doesn't seem like it was anything illegal going on to me. You know what I mean? So but I just wanted to clarify that. And I hope Miss AKA Lady is still here. If she's not, she'll see that in the team replay. Brother Marcus, what's good, fam? How you feeling?
What's up, man? Happy New Year's again. Shout out to you, bro.
Hey, shout out to you, bro. I appreciate that, man. So yeah, man, let's get your final thoughts on this, man. Like, what's your take so far with everything that's going on with the Tate Brothers?
I personally think it's a smear campaign, and I think it's a sort of way of targeting towards the Tate Brothers, in my opinion. I think when you take a culmination and timeline of all the stuff that's happened that's been thrown against them and they've beaten or has been proven a lie, but yet they're still going to not pay attention to what people lied about. They're only going to go off of what triggers them. They're going to go off of what certain clips or viral moments on a TikTok that doesn't explain the full context. And like you said, you're explaining stuff about certain governments. And me personally, when we were talking about how, like, I think Myron broke it down good too, though, but he also said it. He said, like, the U.S. and from my opinion and from other people, I think it's the U.S. and other big tech companies trying to put pressure on the Romanian government. Obviously, probable cause does not exist in Romania. And on top of that, the fact that they were posting all this stuff, like all the stuff on social media, and for it to be an open investigation, like, that wouldn't fly down in the U.S. Not until after the person has been convicted and put to prison, or found guilty of something, or found innocent of something. They wouldn't post it. They wouldn't post it at all. But because they did it during it, made it so much suspicious. And then the fact that, you know, him and Greta Thunberg kind of went at it a little bit back and forth. You know, I find it a little funny, but you know, obviously not everybody can take a joke a little bit.
Right. The timing was definitely there. You know, it was kind of
right. Because like to me, it's like, from my perspective, I don't get like anal about a lot of stuff. So I'm looking at it as more of a joke, like he's joking, because we know that sometimes Tate's not a bad dude. When I see him and the people that talk about him, they say good things about him mostly. The people that really know him. And the fact that he's done charity work and stuff for over a decade with his brother, they forget about that stuff. Done charity work. You know, just in the webcam business, when they sold it, a lot of those women, or at least entire of those women, they got more, like settlements for that, where like they all got a good chunk of money coming from the Tates when they sold the business. So the women were not broke; they were actually really well off, and a lot of those women came to Cape for the Tates, so they said good things about the Tates. And because I've seen other people in other chats and panels talking about, oh yeah, like these the Tates were trying to hold these women against their will. No. The Tates offered them a business idea and a business venture to get it in on them with them. You know? And then when they were like, some people were saying, oh, they came and they raided the house. First of all, weapons are part of art collection. You have the paperwork, you get the signature, you have it framed, you have it held up. It's considered art. And then on top of that, you have international law. Like we said, probable cause does not exist over there. And for them to all of a sudden, when they're released after 24 hours, makes it so more suspicious that, oh, now that it's like they're trying to fish. They're trying to fish for something. They could potentially plant something.
And they never got released. So there was a 24-hour hold that got rolled over into the 30-day hold. So there was reports that the Tates were out. It was not. They never got released. But I'm with you. Go ahead.
And the paperwork, it wasn't signed until after they had already been questioned. So the judge has not signed anything until after they were held. So there was no arrest order actually initiated. They were just brought for questioning, like you said.
Yeah. Now the original, and again, like the original, when the story broke, and these publications were not like mainstream sources, but the original articles were that they were in fact arrested for that, when it held on the 24-hour hold. Again, we don't know how that system works over there. It works different over here. You can be detained and not arrested in America, but I don't know how that works over there. But the points being, I agree with everything you're saying. The underlying point is they ain't got nothing. It does seem like a fishing expedition. And it looked, again, everyone pretty much is saying the same thing. Looks like these dudes are going to get out. But we don't know what evidence is laying around. We got brother Cody in the house as well, man. Cody is king. What's good, man? What are your final thoughts on all this?
What's up, boys? I'm going to go full conspiracy theorist here and say that this is all by design and part of the script. You know, he's been advertising that he's going to get arrested for a while now, and then y'all know the next step is that he's supposed to get whacked, kind of shit. He's got too many big connections with powerful politicians, both in Romania and in the United States. It's all too sus to me. And then you got the fact of just watching that arrest video, right? You see all the perfect angles already pre-set up. The doors, it's too fucking Hollywood, bro. I know a lot of people will say that I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I fully acknowledge that. But I say a lot of this shit, almost everything that we're seeing in the major media these days is part of the psyop. And it's designed to get reactions. And I think it's doing just that. Now,
how?
Well, I acknowledge the fact that it could be like one side of politics versus the other, and there's that aspect to it too. Sure, there's potential for that. It's a bit too suspicious looking for me. So that's where I come at it.
And I'm with you on that. And brother Marcus, you was saying something real quick, or did I hear you try to jump in?
No. I was just saying what's up to Cody because I never got a chance to talk to him, but that was it.
Okay, that's cool. And you know, my thing is this: like everything I put out here, I don't. I know where I stand in the fact that I'm not unbiased. You know what I mean? I am definitely pro Tate. You know, I've said this a million times. I've said it a million more times. I don't think they're guilty. I don't think it's out there. It doesn't make sense to me. But there is that chance that I'm wrong. And there is that chance that he is, in fact, he and his brother are, in fact, involved somehow with this sort of thing. The possibility exists. I just don't think that they have the proof. If they did, this would have came out way different. I'm with Brother Cody on this. It is too Hollywood. It's too neat. It's too clean. Everything is just right there. Just like wag the dog. Someone said that in the chat. This is definitely a wag the dog operation, it looks like to me. And again, if these are the only two things they're going after, the grape allegation and the human trafficking thing, I think they beat it. No problem. It's nothing. But the money laundering thing and the criminal organization thing, that's something different. So, and I'm glad that we're not hearing a lot about that. You know what I mean? I hope that that's not the case, because that opens up Pandora's box, and I don't like what's inside of there. So, so that's cool. So, yeah, Brother Marcus, man, what's your absolute final word here? I'm gonna give you the final thought, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
Like I said, man, you know, people will call us, you know, D writers or whatever, but I'm all for the truth, and I'm all for due process, innocent until proven guilty. You know, I actually like most of what Tate says. He's a cool dude. He's a funny dude. He definitely, like, you know, entertaining as hell, but he also speaks a lot of truth in my opinion. Yeah, man, I'm an MMA fan, so that's another reason why I might be a little bit biased, because he's a kickboxing champ and I'm a UFC guy and the jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, and all that stuff myself. But you know, great stream. I like the fact that you're honest and you're direct. You don't cut around. You don't beat around the bush. You say what you are. You say who you stand on. You stand on that conviction. So that's to be respected, like always. And you know, free the Tates, man. Free the Tates. And hey, man, all to due process, innocent to prove guilty. It may not exist in Romania, but it somewhat exists here in the U.S. You know, it's not like it used to be, but at least we have certain things that still fall in line under that. And I really hope that if he is proven innocent, he's, you know, they kind of lay off of his ass and he gets a settlement. If he don't, then it's a shame. But I think I'm trying to bet more on the marbles of he's innocent.
That's what's up, bro. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Always.
Shout out to y'all, though. Shout out to all y'all, and be safe out there, Cody. It was good talking to you. Finally hearing your voice. Shout out to DL Sane as always, and peace out, y'all.
Peace. And before you go, bro.
Pray! This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
All right, brother. I'm gonna holler at you later, man. Peace.
All right, hey, Roger.
Roger. Rah. Brother Cody, what are your final thoughts on all this, bro?
Well, the whole money laundering and criminal organization part is going to be a tricky one, right? Because as soon as you're involved in casinos, how are you going to manage that? They just print money. And even in the States, like a big part of them are run by mafia to begin with. So it's going to be a curious one. I wonder if part of this was going to be just a big political ploy to clear his name on some of these alleged crimes, because these were things that were going around the internet for quite a while, right? These are the accusations that people use to hate on Tate and to kind of shit on the message, right?
Yeah, eight months plus.
Right. So it could be a political ploy to kind of wipe that slate clean and have a more public cleansing of it. But either way, what it's done again, which is what I said before, is it has caused him to go viral once again. It's got the attention where it was supposed to go. And that's the way I look at it. It's all a bit too fishy. You know, it's been called out ahead of time. It's just sus to me. But I think you're soon to be monetized, DL. So I just wanted to say congratulations on that coming up too while I'm here. And,
thank you, brother. I appreciate that. We are real close.
Yeah, hopefully it's sooner rather than later.
That's what we're hoping. Yo, man, get monetized and demonetized probably in the same day. Y'all know how we rock over here, but I appreciate that, bro.
I'll be more careful.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, hey, man, thanks for coming through, bro. Thanks for rocking with me. You always been there, man. You're definitely one of the most loved cats on this platform, bro. So thank you so much for taking time coming out here and like me, sharing your opinion with us. I'm gonna keep hitting you up. Everybody, that's Cody is King right there, live and direct. You know what I mean? Fellow North American dude making that happen, man. A true warrior, true Spartan. So I'll holler at you later, brother. Appreciate it.
Have a great night, bro.
You too. And then there's me. We're at the end right here, y'all. Like this was a great conversation. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna do at least 2 more stories on this before this is over and done with. It's kind of like Cody said. Andrew Tate, again, probably the most Googled man on the planet because of all this right now. Mainstream media is forced to talk about him right now. And if you're talking about Andrew Tate, you're talking about Red Pill, which means the manosphere is getting one giant step closer to the mainstream. It's just a matter of time before it happens, y'all. YouTube is taking over. I look at the numbers that some of these content creators are pulling. Just Pearly Things is an example. Her interview with Andrew Tate that released on Christmas Day was over 1 million views in like less than an hour or something like that. Over 1 million views. CNN, Fox, MSNBC, and all the rest of them, they're not pulling in numbers like that. They're not. So it's just a matter of time before that corporate media machine comes over and jumps on YouTube to get those views. People are sick and tired of what they're presenting out there in mainstream media on both sides of the aisle, and they're all coming to YouTube. So it's just a matter of time. Y'all hang in there. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's going to happen. When it comes to the Tates, though, I think they're innocent. But we'll just see how this soap opera unfolds. And that's it, man. We're all done here, man. I'm DL Saint. You know what I mean? I want to thank everybody who was in the chat tonight, man. Thank all of y'all. My day ones, y'all know who y'all are. It's too many of y'all to go through and name each of them, but I will name Brother Cody is King and Brother Marcus for coming out and actually showing up on the panel. I really appreciate that. Shout out to Miss AKA Lady, who's always in there. You know what I mean? Holding it down for the sisters, holding it down for the ladies out there. We didn't get Sister Candace, but she's probably tied up. It's early in the new year. Or Miss Globe Girl, they're probably tied up with New Year's stuff, but we'll get them. They'll get here. So thanks again for rocking out with me, y'all. I'm DL Saint. This is the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast, man. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Darn, that's the end.